Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of TreknoPod. You're joining us on the bridge of the USS TreknoPod. I am Captain Shoff, and our continuing mission is a rewatch of Enterprise. We are currently talking about Season 1, and we're going to be talking about Episode 13, which is called Dear Doctor, Dearest Doctor, we have something. Yes, we're going to be talking about the dearest Doctor of Enterprise. That's right, Dr. Phlox is the focus of today's episode. But I'm just one captain, and I don't like to be alone on the bridge. It's scary when you're by yourself. That's why I bring my friends along, and we all sit in chairs next to each other. And there's no chair that's more forward than another one. There's no bigger chair. They're not even centered, so there's no way to know who the real true captain is because we're all captains. But with that in mind, let me go ahead and introduce my dearest friends / co-hosts / co-captains. First of all, the amazing, the wonderful, the expendable Captain Vactor. How are you today?
This is the big one, Shoff, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
Ooh.
I have love for Dr. Phlox, so this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to talk about this episode.
Yeah, this is a good episode. This is going to be very divisive. This episode, either you love it or it really bothers you. It may even be the Tuvix of Enterprise. So
what a statement.
Yeah,
My goodness.
I know.
What a thing to say.
Heavy-handed here. Yes.
Yeah.
With that in mind, we have the amazing Vactor. We have myself, Captain Shoff. But rounding out the Three's company is the fantastic, the wonderful, the multi-talented, the beautiful, the soon-to-be 21 Captain Linda Paiges. How are you?
Every time you do an intro, my ego just shoots up every time. I'm great. It was Hell Weekend. Went to the final night of Halloween Horror Nights on Sunday night. Yeah.
Is parting such sweet sorrow for not for like saying goodbye to the horrors?
So the actual actor who plays Art the Clown was there,
wow.
and I think he might have been in the Art the Clown costume at the beginning of the house too. I've seen that theory a lot. I don't know if anyone has confirmed that, but they had Art the Clown that's not normally there, and I was like, I know you were here tonight. Boyfriend did like it. Boyfriend did not break up with me because he thought I was crazy, which was a fear of mine. Yes, so it was great. We had a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we've got a really interesting episode to unpack today.
Yes, I'm so excited about this.
Yes. But before we do that, I think it's appropriate that this episode is called Dear Doctor, because sometimes you got to reach out to your medical professional for guidance, assistance, help. And in this scenario with an upcoming birthday, it was important that I reach out to my doctor to get some assistance on things. So with that in mind, I think we have a message that we would like to share for the birthday girl.
Linda, this is John Billingsley, a.k.a. Dr. Phil, no dirty forceps, Phlox. Here's a visual representation. I think they've really captured me. There's a lot for me to grapple with here. Captain Linda, you're turning 21. 21! Oh, the anguish a 65-year-old man feels when he hears that somebody is just about to embark on such a fabulous adventure. Captain Shoff and Captain Vactor, who I understand are your co-podcast hosts for TreknoPod, have gifted you me, also something a little more expensive, and also like a bottle of scotch, which you can now drink because you're 21. This bottle of scotch, unfortunately, I cannot give to you because somebody's already made a dent in it. Which it could be. In any case, they wanted to surprise you with a birthday cameo during the podcast. Surprise! According to your fellow co-hosts and fellow captains, everybody's a captain these days. Jesus, I thought it was kind of a rare avis. Like, you had to really kind of like, to become a captain. All right, never mind. Handing them out like bonbons these days. Apparently, you are a huge Trekkie or Trekker. Opinion is divided. And this is the part where I blush. And I quote, I am one of your most favorite characters from the show. I'm asked to channel my inner Phlox. Fun, lighthearted, and Trek-inspired. Now, what is not mentioned here is that I am also a gay icon, as this fan. Makes clear. Yes, because we Denobulans, we're polyamorous. And as you know from having watched the show, we have multiple wives. Each of the wives has multiple husbands. And clearly the reason one has to get off to Nobula is because it's just exhausting. All the... you know. I couldn't say the word that came to mind because I have no idea what ages your podcast reaches, and the word that I thought of is perhaps not appropriate for young ears. In any case, you had to get off at Denobula because there's no elbow room, and every time you turn around, somebody's wanting you to give them a rose petal bath or take a rose petal bath. It was exhausting. In any case, happy birthday. I'm also told that your favorite captain is Janeway, and that you have a passion for physics. Well, you lost me there, but good on you. Although I did single-handedly get the ship through the expanse because I was able to figure out how to turn the nuclear reactor on and blah, 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 blah.
Spoilers, come on, folks.
And you're a singer-songwriter, which has inspired me to sing you this birthday song. Oh, it's in Denobulan, did I mention that? This references your scientific background. It talks about being 21 and how exciting it is to look forward to the rest of your life, blah, blah, blah. That's sort of, that's the dirty part. We'll just gloss over that. This is part of a tune that might be familiar to you no matter where you go in the galaxy. Fundamentally, happy birthday, it's always the same goddamn tune. Happy 21st birthday, Linda. Your co-captains Shoff and Vactor adore you. Mwah, congratulations, and hello to everybody watching TreknoPod. Dr. Phil, no dirty forceps, Phlox. He's very handsome. Signing off.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That was so good. Oh my god. That was so sweet. Thank you. Oh my god. I can't believe you did that. That was so nice.
Oh man, that is a secret we have been holding on to for over a week now. Oh my gosh. That has been hard to keep.
Oh
So, and it just it fell perfectly on this episode. I was like, dear doctor, I have to message him anyways. I'm literally dear doctoring this guy right now. So
oh my
perfect.
god, that's I don't know words. Thank you so much. Oh my god.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
For those that don't know, we're going to take a break next week because that is the official birthday week for Captain Linda Paiges.
It
So
will be my actual birthday on the day that we would normally film.
yes,
So
yes. And she requested, she wanted to have her birthday, and we totally understand because it's a big day. So because of that, we wanted to celebrate a week ahead of time and give you a moment with Phlox. So yeah.
oh my god, that was amazing. I thank you so much. That was just
You're
so
welcome.
kind. Thank you. Oh my god. That was so cool. Can you send that to me?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
We
you.
will send you a copy so you can share it with anybody and put it on social media, whatever you want to do. Yep, totally. Okay. So, and you didn't suspect anything, right? You didn't have any,
No,
like...
no,
okay.
not at all.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh my god.
Good stuff.
Phlox said happy birthday.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Such a cool guy. Such a zany guy, but such a cool guy. I love it.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's unpack this episode. So we're gonna get right into it. I gotta ask, just right off the bat, I want to know what you guys thought of the episode. But first of all, this episode starts off with Phlox going into the med bay, and he's feeding all of his creatures, doing the rounds, and then as part of the bumper of the cold open, he brings out this little like caterpillar looking thing, and he feeds it to his friend. And then he decides to sample the merchandise and takes a bite himself. And I just wanted to get Linda's take on this. She's kind of weird about bugs sometimes. So I wanted to know, did you do okay with that part of the scene? Was that a rough one?
So it's so funny you should ask this. I was just on a Delta Fire Zoom this past weekend, and we were talking about how like Americans, obviously like, we don't really eat insects like that, but a bunch of other cultures do. And they were talking about like how they have and like how they've like feel like they've come across like ignorant Americans when they didn't want to try it, and like when they did, they realized like it was actually good and a great source of protein and blah 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 blah. And so absolutely like while they were talking about it before they said all that, I was like no, but then so that's what I was thinking about while I was watching this, and I was like, okay, you know what, it could be really good. Like, you don't know, like my childhood best friend, like she used to love those like they used to have them at the museum, the little packs of like different insects they would flavor, like salt and vinegar, sour cream. And I remember her eating like the cheddar cheese ones like vividly, and she would like that was like a snack. I never tried it though, because I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Wow. Anything creepy crawly like that is just not a thing. That like some people don't like tomatoes. I don't like bugs. I don't know what to tell you. That's just not my thing. So yeah, I mean, it didn't really gross me out that much, because like he's an alien and it's an alien.
Yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah.
So you made it through. You're okay. All right. Yes. Well, then, well, Captain Vactor, let's start with you. What did you think of Dear Doctor just overall? How'd you feel about it compared to the rest of Enterprise you've seen so far? We're at the halfway point of season 1. So how do you feel this one falls?
This one for me is in the top, I'll say top 3 episodes so far in these first 13, simply off of the percentage of Phlox that we get in this episode. John Billingsley, fantastic performance. Anytime I get to see more of my boy Phlox, yes, I am a happy camper. And on top of that, I thought the actual episode, like the plot and what they were doing, was interesting. So for me, this was a very fun and good episode.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Captain Linda, what about you? What do you think?
I loved this episode. I wasn't thinking about it until you said it, but it is absolutely the Tuvix so far of Enterprise. There was not really a right answer here, and I love episodes that are like that. So I was really against Phlox all the way up until he pointed out, until he made the point about Neanderthals, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like once he made it personal to humans, and I was like, yeah, now I get it. Now I understand. Like that was a great way to. I would assume that's what got Archer too, because I was like, yeah, you're right.
It's interesting. This episode definitely very divisive. There's a Reddit feed that I pulled up earlier today, and the comments regarding it are insane. I mean, really interesting to read. So before the episode's up, we'll go through some of that stuff, because I wanted to unpack that too. But I agree. I think this is a really strong episode. It felt extremely Star Trek to me, like very much in the Trek wheelhouse of having. This is what I miss about that doesn't happen in New Trek a lot of times, is to have a supporting crew member getting their personal log. It being like basically the entire episode is narrated by Phlox. It's about Phlox. It's Phlox's adventures and his experiences. So you're getting that, instead of it being like a third person sort of scenario, like you are right there with him. Like, and I think that's fantastic. And anytime Star Trek, shifts the narrator to the character that they want to develop, it's always going to be fun. It's always going to be interesting. And I wish they did this more with other characters. Like, say, for instance, the Malcolm episode that we just did last week, that could have been a Malcolm focused episode. Like, it could have been his personal logs, maybe him like questioning, why is the crew like acting so weird with me right now? Like, they keep at, like Hoshi did this thing, like, I feel like that episode could have been better if it had been maybe skewed on the perspective. And this episode, Your Doctor does a really great job of, just really keeping like the inner reflections of Phlox in sort of the formatting of his letter to his colleague, which apparently I don't remember seeing this the first time I watched the show, but we will at one point actually meet that colleague. We will see him. In
I was
Enterprise.
wondering if it was going to be a reveal at the end of someone that we knew. I was trying to figure out who it could be, or like if it was like I thought it was gonna be like a jaw drop twist moment, like who he was sending it to.
Okay.
Like I thought it was
that I
gonna be like Dr. McCoy or something. And it was gonna be like some kind of tie-in.
Right.
That would've been cool.
No, yeah, I don't think it's anybody that has that kind of significance per se,
Yeah.
just that they have the unique privilege of being on Denobula right now while Phlox is with the humans. So I think that's pretty cool. Poor Porthos. A little bellyache.
Poor Porthos.
That was fun. Anytime I see his tail wagging, I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I feel like it's so
Best-
cute. It just makes me happy.
He's the best little boy.
He is the best little
He
boy.
just eats too much cheese. You can't blame him. You can't blame him for loving cheese.
Of course.
I like how Phlox like chastises Archer though. He's like, "You have to learn to say no, Doctor. Or you have to learn to say no."
Oh my God, your impressions, they're so good. You could rival Garrett Wang. Like, I feel like we need to, like,
thank you.
you guys need to have an impression off. Like, we need to, like, need to get you.
That would be fun.
That would be
I'd be
awesome.
down.
Yeah, that'd be
I'd be
cool.
totally down for that.
Okay. I was super excited because we've talked before. I think we even talked in the pilot episode about this, but like humans have this need to intervene. Like we want to help everyone. We want to we want to fix everything. We want to make it all right. We have like this very specific moral code, and then we apply that to everything. And so I loved that this episode addressed that directly, because we've talked about it so much, and like about the Prime Directive and what do you do before the Prime Directive. I thought they were a little on the nose with Archer being like, one day there will be a directive.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all
I was
right.
thinking the same thing. He was like, one day there will be a directive that people will primarily focus on.
Right. I was like, okay, all right. We could have been a little bit more subtle, but I'd still appreciate the sentiment, so it was fun. But yeah, I really liked that they addressed that, and because it is like humans, we want to help everyone, we want to fix everything. So, and there's definitely the argument to be made of like, don't play God, let nature take its course. And then there's argument to be made of like, well, if we have the ability to help them, we should help them. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, so if you get a cut, like you can't fix it because it happened, and like you shouldn't play God, like where's the line? Like how do you determine what's okay to interfere with and what's not? Like what's helping a species versus what's interfering with their natural evolutionary process? So I thought that I really enjoyed that discussion. I thought it was really cool.
Do you think ultimately, and this is a question for both of you, do you think ultimately that they made the right decision? I don't think there is a right answer per se, but do you think that for their characters, for what would be the expected outcome of this type of an episode, do you think that they aligned with Star Trek's values, or do you think that it was, I don't know how to say this, but like, do you support and do you subscribe with how they decided to resolve this, or do you feel like they kind of messed up?
Vactor, what do you think?
I think as far as the outcome you're saying,
yeah, just like
of what Archer chooses.
If you were presented with the same ethical situation where you know that this species is theoretically, based on the projections, is going to die out, is going to become an extinct species on the planet, and the lesser dominant species is going to essentially take over in that way because they are immune to this genetic disease that is afflicting everyone. And if you have the means to intercede and cure them of this, and by doing so, keep the dominant species dominant and keep the lesser dominant species inferior, what do? Do you help, or do you deny that level of care?
Well, to answer your question about like the Star Trek way, the Star Trek direction that it would go, and did it hold true to that? I think yes, because the Prime Directive of non-interference, not, before they're ready, not going in there and showing yourselves, which he already showed himself, but not giving them technology. I think that is in line with the Prime Directive, what becomes later the Prime Directive. It's very interesting as a concept because we have a lot of real world parallels of, in a comic book example, if Batman had just killed the Joker the very first time he met him, how many people's lives would he have saved if he hadn't, if he had just taken him out right there? And is it okay for Batman to kill versus just putting him in jail where he knows he's going to get out? Every time Batman chooses to put him in jail because that's considered the right thing to do, there are many people that disagree with that and would say, no, it's a greater good if Batman would kill the Joker and save all the lives that the Joker is going to take. He's going to kill people in the future. So this debate, I can see both sides of it, but I like Phlox's science perspective. The way that he looks at it is kind of like the way that that's the way that I look at it. Because I have a little bit of Archer in me, I have a little bit of Phlox in me, but I think my logical Spock brain also says, hey, this is the logical thing to do. This is the you shouldn't do. But here's the other thing. It also Archer made the argument of, hey, everything, I can't remember the exact line, but basically like everything you do as a doctor is interfering. Like you're already changing. Like that guy would have died if you hadn't given him the medicine, right? Like so you're already doing that and breaking that code or that principle. So I was like, oh man, that's a good point, Archer, you got one. But I think overall I'm with Phlox on that situation where I'm like, okay, these guys plus the other species, like this is another thing, if they were the only species on this planet, that would also change my decision making. But it's like, well, there's this other species that Phlox is predicting is going to take over. And I'm like, well, this needs to be their time to shine. So I'm with Phlox overall.
So then
I'm not surprised.
You would say then is that you wouldn't help out the Valakians.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So, okay. Gotcha. Captain Linda, what do you think?
I think it's a Tuvix episode. I don't think there's a right answer. And I know like I'm really like vocal online about like hashtag bye bye Tuvix, whatever, but the truth is like there really is not a right answer there. And I feel the same way about this. I really can see both sides of it. And yeah, I don't know what I would have done. I do think that Archer, if the Prime Directive had already existed, I think he would have done the opposite because that's what all the captains do. Like, it's true. This would have been a great like, wrestling rules, with the Prime. Yeah, exactly. Wrestling with the Prime Directive episode. But I think the biggest issue with that decision, with giving them, with telling them that there is a cure and giving it to them, would be the fact that they now become dependent on other species. I think you're doing the species a disservice by forcing them to be kind of like in your debt. If it were a species that were equally as technologically advanced and they just didn't have like there was like a plant on Earth or something that they didn't have, and that was like where I think that's different if they have the equal or more technology, but they didn't. And so now any of the technology that you give them or whatever, like they didn't develop it themselves. That means you have to teach them how to fix it, how to use it, how to make more. Like they're not caught up to now what they have. And part of the scientific process is failure. Like you figure out what doesn't work, you make mistakes, like you do stupid things, and you like, I'm thinking of like lab, right? Like, the circuit starts smoking, you messed up, like you got to go back and fix that. Like that's how you learn. Like when you're hands on and you're doing things, you're like, well, that didn't work, like we got to fix that. And that's a huge part of development and learning. And so when you're taking that from them, I think that's you're doing them a huge disservice. And now you've kind of forced them into your debt. So it's like they're now kind of forced into the Federation. They're forced into this not just like allyship, but like now they're dependent on humans. I don't know. I think that might be wrong. On the other hand, because them not giving them the cure was not necessarily guaranteed that they were going to, it's not like they were going to become extinct tomorrow. 2 centuries is a lot of time. That's time to develop, for technology to, grow and change and to develop a cure. And they did help them. They aided them. They just didn't fix it for them, which Yeah, so maybe I would have done the same thing. I think initially I would have been really adamant. I think I would have been like Archer. Like I would have been adamant. Like, no, this is wrong. But
What's interesting to me is I think that this would be there'd be a great follow-up episode, which again, I don't know for a fact if it happens because I really don't remember a lot of this show. There's so much I don't remember about this show. But right as of the end of the episode, neither species is aware that Phlox developed a cure. They don't know that he really does have one and is just withholding it. And I think that would be really interesting content to mine a bit and use in a future episode, that the Valakians or whatever you want to pronounce it, like that they do catch wind that Phlox did actually successfully create a cure, and that the Starfleet kept it from them, and that would immediately make them like enemies of Starfleet, and it could start into a whole type of conflict. And I think that would be a really interesting angle to explore, because there's always going to be ramifications to like an ethical dilemma like that, and there's going to be negative consequences as well. So I think like to have it be a one and done, honestly, if that's the case, kind of sucks, because there's so much more that's going to happen here, and I think there's more to do. But as far as how I would approach it, I think just by intervening, you've already established that you are there and willing to help. And I think that in that respect, you have to see it through, because otherwise it's willful blindness. And the idea that know that the species is either going to struggle and die out without your help, or at least there's a very good likelihood of it, I feel like you are obligated to assist. But then again, that's that human mentality, right? Maybe that's not a truly great approach. And, that's why the Prime Directive exists, because there definitely it should be a protocol of how people should behave. And I also really liked how Archer was sort of forced to face a bit of what it must be like for Vulcans to have arrived on Earth, seen where humans were at technologically.
So I never thought I'd say this, but I understand.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, just in 13 episodes, Archer has had so much growth in the way that he perceives Vulcans and how much they assisted humanity in this. So just fascinating. So
I did love that kind of connection to Paul, where it was like, oh, this sucks. I think there's been so much tension between the humans and the Vulcans, and he was like, oh, I get it. She goes, well, we thought that humans needed help, and we're still here 90 years later because you never grew up. We still have to parent you. So I thought that was funny, but it's also like they don't have to be there. They're concerned about the humans, so they chose to stay. But I did love that interaction, and I thought that was funny.
Another aspect of the episode I really liked was the continuation of having a movie night. They kind of like hinted at it. I think maybe it was last week's episode.
The crew bonding.
Yeah, and seeing it unfolding actually was really great. And it was like an old movie. I always think about that. Like, what would Star Trek? They're in the 22nd century or something like that. What would they think would be like a classic movie to watch? Like,
I don't know. I wonder if our classic movies still held up as classics, or if they have like new classics.
I think the movie that they were watching was called For Whom the Bell Tolls. And they were going to be watching Sunset Boulevard next week, which is funny. I actually have a personal connection with Sunset Boulevard. It was a show that I got cast as the lead-in for community theater.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's so cool. I didn't even know you did community theater.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Years and years and years of it. I'm an award-winning actor, actually, but
I didn't know that.
But I couldn't do the show because running at the same time in this theater company, they were doing across the hall. They had a black box theater, really intimate setting, only like maybe 40 to 60 seats, very close to the stage. They were doing a black box version of The Elephant Man. And the director, who also happened to be the artistic director, he really wanted me to play the Elephant Man. He didn't want to do any audition for it. He's like, this is a role you need to play. He's like, I know I just cast you as the lead in the show across the
and
hall.
something else, but I'm taking it away and I'm giving you this lead
They're playing
instead.
at the same time. You cannot do both. If you accept this other role, then you can't play Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard. And I love to sing, and it was such a hard thing to not do, but I gave up my part in Sunset Boulevard, and I did Elephant Man, and I ended up winning Best Actor in Arizona. So that was
that's incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Applause.
Thank you. But yeah, so when he said, I'm like, Sunset Boulevard, I know this one. This is so cool. So I thought that was it was cute seeing Phlox's interaction. Like he was more concerned about like what everyone else was doing, like
he was people watching.
There may be a group response, and they're passing around the popcorn. I thought the popcorn thing was kind of funny because they were serving it in like Pyrex casserole dishes, like, passing around like I don't know. I get it. I don't know. I feel like they could have chosen a different like a bucket or something that didn't clearly look like a Pyrex dish that no one would like. If you were sitting on the couch and somebody handed you a Pyrex dish of popcorn, you'd look at them. You'd be like, where are you from? Because this is weird. Just get a bowl, dude. Just get a bowl. Like it's weird. It's weird to me. So anyways, that was a little funny. Trip crying was funny. I thought that was like to show his softer side. That was cute. And then we get more of Ensign Cutler. We haven't seen her since that one episode where they were in the caves and losing their minds.
Oh, that's who that was.
The pollen.
I knew she was familiar. I could not figure out.
Yeah. Strange New World was the episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What'd you guys think of her and Phlox?
I don't know what's happening there. I don't understand. I don't like. I'm really picky when Star Trek characters date each other because I don't like it when one of them outranks the other. And I know that I'm a Janeway Chakotay shipper. We're just going to ignore that for a second. But I just like, especially when it's like a crewman, and I don't know. I couldn't figure out. I thought it was cute. Maybe I don't know. I need to see more of them before I form an opinion. I can't decide. I just don't understand how dating works in Phlox's culture, because if he has through, I don't understand. It's I'm coming across as
he establishes that he has 3
Starfleet human, but I don't understand. So
he has 3 wives, and they each have
2 other husbands. But I wonder, like, does that mean everyone has 3 partners and then you're done, no more?
I think that's just like a personal decision on how many. It probably is like sky's the limit, whatever you.
I don't understand. I don't know. But then it's like, what? Then if you're dating, like, what? I'm so sorry.
And I thought that honestly, I thought Ensign Cutler was. It's okay. I thought she was giving some mixed signals because after he does approach her about it, she's like, "Whoa! I'm not trying to be your wife. I just want to be your friend." I'm like, "Whoa! Are you talking? You just want a booty call? Like this is you're looking for Phlox for a little like medical attention? You know what I'm saying?"
Well, I didn't take it that way. I just took it that she was saying she wants to date first before marriage. Like she's like, "Hey, I'm not trying to get married. Let's slow it down. Let's date first before we do that." I thought
she didn't say date. She didn't say I just want to go out to dinner. She said I just want to be your friend. That's a weird thing to say to someone you've been flirting with. That is,
especially when it's like an interspecies thing where I think you really have to, I guess, over-explain like. Since there's cultural differences, you gotta do your
research, like culturally, like whatever, like you gotta know like what you're looking for, because you have to figure out how what you want like translates to their culture and whatever else.
Well, and then she does some kind of like I thought she was like the queen of mixed signals in this episode, because she touches his shoulder and he's like, "Whoa!" She's like, "Oh yeah," and we learn that Denobians don't like to be touched. And then when he's like, "Well, I've been trying,"
which is weird for a doctor. Right. Like that's a little weird. Like you don't like physical contact, but you're a doctor. Like I don't know. Like that's strange. Also, Phlox's personality, I just did not think that his species would be this kind of like cold and unemotional. We learned a lot about him. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like more so than I was expecting. I don't know, because I keep thinking of him as Neelix, so I keep thinking I know he's not Talaxian, but like in my head, he's like an off-brand Talaxian, and he's obviously not. So
that's funny. Yeah, but she touches his shoulder. He's like, "Whoa, that's kind of against my species thing." And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like, well, actually, I'm thinking about, stretching my comfort zone. And then she's like, okay, let me kiss you then. Excuse me, Miss Consent. Hit the brakes. All right. Why don't we have a handshake here before you start kissing my cheeks? Okay. Like if you touch my shoulder and I say, oh, it's okay, you can touch me. And she just like immediately like starts like kissing me. Come on. That's a little much. So I thought she was a little over the top in that regard, but it got me thinking. I thought this is a good icebreaker question, something to get to know each other about. If you had the opportunity to enter into an interspecies relationship with an alien species that you have seen in Star Trek, doesn't have to be just Enterprise, just Star Trek in general, which alien species would you find yourself most attracted to?
This is a tough question.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vulcan.
I was thinking the same thing.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think so.
Just because every female Vulcan looks like T'Pol? No?
Well, I mean, so the ones I've seen are very attractive, but
Vulcans are an attractive species, and I'm not afraid
Yes.
to say it. Like they are. I'm sorry. Like I'm not sorry. Actually, no. This is just a fact of life.
Very clean.
Very clean. This is a fact. Vulcans as a species are attractive. I would probably date a Vulcan. I think just that I think it would hit a point where it would be difficult to be with someone who had no concept of emotions. At some point. I don't think that would bother me as much as a friendship. I think dating someone really long term, I think at some point that would catch up to me. I think.
How about half human, half Vulcan?
See, now we're talking. That's perfect. Which is funny because my boyfriend is so like my actual real life boyfriend is so like opposite of that. Like he has no Vulcan. I mean, maybe a little bit actually, maybe a teensy bit, but yeah, he's very like fun loving. Like what? So that's yeah. But yeah, if I lived in the Star Trek universe, perhaps a Vulcan.
So we found out that Linda is the Vulcan. In her
Vulcan.
relationship,
Yeah,
she
probably.
balances out the emotion. Yes.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
What about Shoff?
Yeah, I'm a physics major and the business major.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the Vulcan.
For me, it's the Borg Queen. No, I'm kidding. It's not the Borg Queen.
I thought about that.
I would probably
Agnes.
say, maybe the Trill,
Oh, that's a really good answer.
because
Yeah.
for me, like I've always found, like in dating scenarios, sometimes I kind of like come off as like an old soul a bit, like, and it makes it hard sometimes to connect with people who are my age. And I think like the Trill, they have that unique element of having the various previous hosts' memories, and it makes them like super wise and super grounded. And I think like that, and that level of experience and understanding of like people and interpersonal relationships, I think would venture to be a really good fit.
Yeah, but you
And
specifically then are talking about a Trill with a symbiont because not all of them have one.
oh, that's true.
As I
Yes,
understand it, yeah.
a paired one. Yes,
Paired Trill. Okay. Trill plus the symbiont.
Yes,
Yeah.
gotta have the combo.
Gotta have the combo. I actually I'm working on a Trill cosplay right now, so
Oh,
that's
fantastic!
in the works because I have
love that.
I have surgery scars on my stomach where the Trill would be or where the symbiont would be. So I feel like I have to.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah,
you
I
got
think
it
Trill
perfect.
is a really good answer. I think it could get weird just because you're not just dating the Trill, you're dating everyone that the symbiont
Yeah.
has been up until that point as well.
That's true. That's true.
So depending on the other Trill hosts that the symbiont has had, I feel like I don't know. That
Yeah.
could be weird.
it could be
Because
weird.
their ex could show up and it could be like a widow, right? Like and you're
That's
like,
true.
huh.
That is
My
true.
girlfriend is this woman's dead husband, right? Like that's weird. So I feel like I don't know, like lines could get blurred fast. But
This is true. And yeah, now we're getting into
Trills are also attractive. A lot of
non-monogamy.
aliens
Yeah.
are a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was
Okay.
kind
Can I throw in another answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about? I'm just gonna make this a whole category to itself, and this is not necessarily my answer. I'm just curious what viewers think as well. What about the category of like the holograms, the androids, the non-biological? Because we see a lot of Star Trek characters dating
Now
holograms.
we're counting
I would absolutely have plenty of relationships with
this
holographic
is changing
projections.
everything. Android all the way, baby.
Well,
Programmed
okay,
in
Janeway's
multiple
got her Irish
techniques.
bartender. Geordi had his thing with although I'm not sure that one counts because that was based off of a real person, so let's just assume that they're not based off of real people. The doctor, the EMH, definitely had a couple of romantic encounters in Voyager, so definitely like this has happened. It's possible. Could be an interesting thing to explore. I don't know.
Dang.
Take off those safety protocols.
State the nature of the romantic emergency.
Can't believe you never said that on Star Trek. That would have been great. That would have been a great way for him to like answer if Seven was like when she was on her date and like with the lobster and everything was going wrong, and he was in the holodeck like playing piano. That would have been a great way for him to have started that conversation when she broke his arm.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That was a funny episode.
Throwing another answer.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think Travis said a single word this entire episode.
There were not a lot. I was thinking about that earlier while we were talking. There were just not a lot of like main characters in this episode. It was Archer. We got that one little cameo from Porthos, and Phlox and Hoshi.
Yeah, and a little bit of T'Pol, and that was it.
Yeah, and a very little bit of T'Pol. We didn't really get any other main cast members, which was interesting. I think there would have been an opportunity here to kind of have them all discuss this issue. I guess because again, Starfleet's not really fully formed yet. So, but I mean, I think in any other series, they all would have ended up in the conference room, or they would at least would have been like you would have seen a scene where they were like talking about it over lunch and they were like disagreeing. You know, I think
that's such a good
that
point.
would have been really
This would have
interesting
been a ready
to see.
room thing, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see everyone's perspectives on this and hear them out because I think they would have had, they would have had strong opinions,
differing
and I
opinions
would want to see that. We really didn't get to see
Very
anyone's opinion
interesting.
other than Phlox and Archer, so that would. I guess it's implied what the aliens' opinions were, but other than that, you know.
I wanted to share that as we talked about this being a pretty divisive episode, there's a Reddit feed, and the Reddit feed is called "Why is Dear Doctor considered a bad episode of Enterprise?" A person was asking 4 years ago. He's like, "I've seen a lot of hate on this. It's not great Trek, but I'm trying to wrap my mind around, how it could be that bad." And essentially, they have sort of drilled it down that one person said, because the episode ends with Phlox convincing Archer to commit genocide based on a grade school level misunderstanding of the theory of evolution. Phlox's arguments would have been more at home coming out of Joseph Mengele. I don't know how to say that. Mengele, thank you, than a Starfleet doctor. And yes, denying healthcare with the expressed intent of letting the Valakians die out, as Phlox convinced Archer to do, fits one of the 5 legal definitions of genocide as recognized by the UN, which is deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part.
Okay.
But see, why does that make it a bad episode? Because to me, if it's causing people to have a strong reaction and to think and say, okay, this is going against either my opinion, or I can put myself in someone else's position or in their shoes and think about it in a different way. To me, that's a good thing that sci-fi can do. And I don't like just that alone. To me, that doesn't make it a bad episode.
Yeah, I agree. Also, they're not deliberately inflicting conditions for genocide because they gave them a remedy, not a cure, but something to help. They did give them medicine, and again, they're not going to die out tomorrow. If they were going to die out in the next 5 years, I would say, but they're still not responsible for the genocide. Them choosing not to interfere is not. They didn't cause the issue, you know?
Right.
And yeah, like we wouldn't exist as a species if someone had come in and decided that the Neanderthals deserved, you know, they've saved, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's very complex. I think 2 centuries is a lot of time for civilization to develop. So not giving them the cure now does not mean that their entire species is going to die out. They very well could have found a cure. So, I mean, we know it exists. So and again, it's not like this like one plant that's only specific to Earth and that's where the cure is and they don't have it. So if that were the case, if the answer was this one specific thing only humans have, then I would say maybe they would have a responsibility because they're not, there's no guarantee they're going to create warp drive, find the humans again, and then have it. But that does not seem to be what the case was. So I think that is a misunderstanding of the episode, honestly.
Yeah. It's so interesting. People were, I highly encourage our listeners and watchers on YouTube to go on Reddit and check it out because there's some really fascinating conversation that has kind of like come about from this. And interestingly enough, I may have hinted at this before, but this episode ended up with a modified ending. UPN requested that the episode be changed because the original version had Phlox and Archer disagreeing over what to do with the Valakians. Archer would have wanted to save the race while Phlox would have wanted evolution to take its course. John Billingsley, our favorite doctor who graced us today, didn't agree with the change version. He said that the ending that they had initially had created, he was fairly comfortable with, but the head of the studio, suggested some revisions on the ending. He says, "What do you do? I wasn't as happy with the revisions, but it's not my show. You have to adjust, even if sometimes it does seem to be a bit of a contradiction in terms of what your character is supposed to be about."
Wait, sorry, I'm confused. So the original version had Archer going through with what he originally wanted to do, which was giving them the cure?
No, it's a good point. I don't know exactly if it would have ended that way or if it still would have ended the same, but I think the biggest change is that Phlox ends up agreeing with Archer
instead of
versus holding his ground and believing that nature should take its course.
But Archer did what Phlox wanted.
That's true.
So I'm confused.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sorry, it doesn't go in any more detail to say what.
No, I know. I just don't understand what the.
Yeah, I wish they
like was
gave
Phlox
you the
originally
actual...
supposed to think like were their perspectives flipped and that's what was supposed to originally happen?
Yeah. Not sure, but I think this is probably the first time in Enterprise that they had experienced like pushback from the network to say that they need to go back through and change it. But it definitely was the kind of episode that with an ethical situation that was pretty hard to navigate, to say like this, there's a correct outcome in this. Another interesting thing about this episode is that it marks the second of what will be 3 appearances of Ensign Cutler. I think I mentioned this in the last time that she was on when we talked about Strange New World, but she unfortunately
you're spoiling the show.
Well,
what do you mean?
This is just
Did she die?
She dies, but not on
What
the
the
show.
hell? Why would
She
you
died
tell us
in
that?
real life.
Oh,
she died
oh
in
my
real
God.
life. Yeah.
She
only. No. Yeah, she died.
I also thought he said. I thought
was
he
like,
was
what the
saying her
hell?
character died.
Oh my God, that's awful.
No, yeah, she died in 2003. Some kind of cardiac arrest caused by an undiagnosed cardiac arrhythmia. It was very sudden. It was very unexpected, and I think that had she not, we might have seen a much something more.
Do they write her death into the show at all?
I don't think so, because I think it happened after her 3rd appearance, and there wasn't. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's mentioned in future episodes as like a I don't know, like a throwaway piece of dialogue, but I don't think that. I'm pretty sure she doesn't die in the episode. I think it's because there wasn't any knowledge going into it that was going to happen to her. So like this buildup of this potential romance between her and Phlox is not going to happen because there's just not. she doesn't have
That's
enough
awful.
time
Yeah,
in that sense. So
that's
it really
awful.
sucks.
I so thought that you spoiled it for a second, and I was like, well, all I could think about was
no, I would never
was,
spoil.
but you though. All I could think about was what's his name? Carrie in Voyager. He was like a recurring character in season 1. You're doing a rewatch, so I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil for you.
Wait, for Voyager? Carrie.
The engineer at the beginning who should have been next up for chief engineer, but then Bolana got it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna see him again.
What?
I mean, he was a recurring character. He was in it a lot for the first little bit there.
That's true.
I don't know a lot, but like he was in it.
That's true. Interesting. Okay.
And then he took a really long break, and they brought him back for one episode.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I am on Equinox right now.
Okay.
I'm on the season 5 finale.
Yep.
Yeah. Equinox. So.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Getting into the real heavy stuff in 6 and 7.
Yes. Okay. Vactor, I think you have a hard out, right? We gotta get it going, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
Okay.
So
Thank
with
you
that,
guys again so much for that was so cool. That cameo was amazing. So thank you. That's awesome.
I love that. Yes. Happy birthday to Linda. We love you. We are so glad you're part of TreknoPod. Very much happy to have you here, and part of our family. And we'll reconvene in a couple of weeks with episode 14.
Sounds good.
Which is called Sleeping Dogs.
Oh,
maybe it'll involve Porthos. I don't know.
Porthos.
With that, you can find Captain Vactor at This Comic Cooks. You can find Captain Linda Paiges at Linda Paiges, I believe, right?
Correct.
And they've got a bunch of fun stuff. I'm sorry, we're gonna do a real quick wrap up, but we will see you soon. If you see Linda out on social media, go ahead and wish her a happy birthday, because she's turned 21. She's gonna have a blast with Romulan ale and Klingon blood wine and Cardassian whatever they drink. Yes.
Gonna be a lot of liquid IV, guys.
Until next time, we will say this: live long and prosper.